evening, Super League fans. I hope you can hear us this time. And if you can you please say in the comments that you can hear us?
We've just been speaking to each other for 10 minutes, and you've missed some absolute storming analysis already, lads. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, I have to apologize to everyone. YouTube have two different options. They have a classic streaming option and a new streaming option. And I thought, as it's Timmy, I'll go with the new streaming option. And it has an extra go live button that you need to press, and I hadn't seen it, so my bad, my bad. I'm not sure what we actually covered, but I mean, I'm willing to ask you the same questions over again.
To
Um,
be fair, Fifey's just probably said one of the funniest things I've seen him say on the chat. Tim lost first game, switched off and on again. Brilliant.
Rumbled, mate. We're rumbled.
Yeah, rumbled.
They're on to us. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, the people who are on co-coms, we play their game first, and then they get a chance to decide whether they want to keep the result or not. Hence
Just
the
been
delay.
brought in this week. It's just been brought in this week.
Hence the delay. Anyway, back to the beginning. Mr. Tim Christopher, thank you very much for joining me on co-coms. So this is your first time on
Pleasure.
co-commentary. Is that
It
correct?
is. Yeah, it is. Yeah. As I told you about 10 minutes ago, Boise had me arranged to come on, and then something came up. I couldn't do it. So this is my first time, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm not as nervous as I was 10 minutes ago now. I feel all right.
Well, you see a little fuck up every now and again. Never hurts anyone.
I'm glad you're the first one who swore, because there might be
Oh
a few more
yeah.
later on.
Yeah, well, I tried. We tried to keep it family friendly. I think there is something you need to set for that. But anyway, so you've got your own Chudley Cannon side. You're back in the league after a short break. So
Yeah.
how do you feel about that? You've been able to name your own team, pick your colors, everything. Um, there's a Harry Potter link coming up, I think.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, a few of the boys got back in touch with me when it all got reinvented, as they say, and yeah, very big Harry Potter fan, massive Harry Potter fan. So that's where the Chudley Cannons comes from. It's Ron Weasley's favourite Quidditch team. So let the banter commence, boys.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
But yeah, so that's the main thing. That's why I came back in, just so I could have a Harry Potter team in the Super League.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure that, as I've mentioned in the chat before, there was if there were any Harry Potter fans, and I think it got plenty of not love, but there was no harsh comments in there. Anyway, if we talk briefly about your own team's performance last week, you've come in for not criticism, but it's been pointed out that you've had two 2-1 wins, and maybe it could have been a draw, and maybe people are used to seeing you win bigger. What do you think about the Swindon game?
Um, yeah, well, apart from Alf, who wouldn't have taken 2-2-1 wins so far? That's the question. Everyone would, because then they'd be on 6 points like me and Alf, but they're not. So, but like I said, we outperformed them in every single category that you can look at. All our players outperformed them player for player. We had eights, we had nines, no sixes. How anyone can say that they deserved a draw at home is beyond me. We went there, we won. End of.
Yeah, well, 6 points is hard to argue with after 3 games, to be honest.
2 games.
2 games rather. We'll see. We'll see if you'll be able
Yeah,
to
thanks.
continue that.
You jinxed me there, yeah. You proper jinxed me.
We'll see. Well, there is a commentator's curse that we have to live up to. I think. Well, Jamie lost
I'm
first.
about to break it. I'm
Jamie
about
lost
to
first
break
time
it.
out. Fifey lost last week, so we'll see
Yeah.
if you can go a little bit better against Bolton Phoenix this week.
Yeah.
Anyway, as it's an odd week, we'll start from the top this time. So if we have a look at the Hottie side first, Arsenal Celtic, they are lining up in a 2-4-1-2-1 sort of.
Mm.
We've seen these a few times now, these kind of
Yeah.
formations. They didn't really turn up at the Valleys against Jamie's team last week. How do you see Ardsley going this week?
Well, I've got in my notes. There's a couple of sides that I feel are going to be just home sides where they're going to get near enough all their points at home. They're going to struggle away from home because they leave themselves so open. But this formation actually is the formation I use on my Bayer Leverkusen save, because the one that I use doesn't work in Germany at all, and it's a very, very good formation. I
Hmm.
don't obviously I don't know the tactics. Don't know his player instructions, but
Hmm.
um, yeah, I just think it's a home formation though. I think he might need to adapt it a little bit just for the aways because as we saw last week, he got picked off quite easily. There wasn't a
Hmm.
lot. It wasn't a lot. You can't really blame it on the two centre halves. He hasn't blamed it on the two centre halves. So
Yeah. Either way, they are back today, Lawson and Terry. So hopefully
mm,
that'll stabilize them a bit at the back. So we've also got him up against a much improved Sloth side. So
mm,
if we have a look, he's got some arrows on. Rob's got some
mm.
arrows on, and they only
I
lost
think
1-0.
peer pressure with the arrows.
Yeah, I think
And
this was the.
Crespo's back in, which fair enough, he did play well the first game, but obviously we've not had any friendlies pre-season or anything like that, so no players really got up to speed. So to drop Crespo just because he had a bit of a dodgy first game with a real bad formation
Mhm.
was a little bit. Um, I didn't see his thinking in that.
Yeah.
Really didn't. No,
No,
didn't
I
see where it's coming from.
wasn't too sure myself, to be completely honest, but we'll see what he gets out of it today. I think there was a Dalek picture or something. I'm not sure. Does it look
Yeah, I
like a
saw that.
Dalek?
Yeah,
Maybe.
he's going to exterminate. Apparently.
Yeah. What I will say to all of the managers listening out there who provided me with instructions for this week, I will do my absolute best to try and remember them, but I do not have that bit of paper to hand.
Yeah.
Only, only the best preparation available here. What I will do is I'll try and see if I can bring it up super, super quickly. So apologies for
Okay.
this.
I'm one of the ones against the all the do this, do that. You pick
Hmm.
your team, and then obviously red cards, injuries, you can't be helped. But other than that, I
Yeah.
don't,
So we've
I don't
so
see.
no. So I'm just checking here because I can see Hodges asked me to put to make a substitution if he has a certain condition at halftime. So I just wanted to check that. So all good. I think we're probably ready for the first game then to kick off.
Okay,
And we'll start with. Oh gosh,
not me.
no, not you. Proceed to the match. No, we'll go back to. I will say that hot. Uh, I will say that Boise was a lot better at this than me. To be fair.
Yeah, but Boise just did it well when I was in the league. Boise just let whichever game was coming come. He didn't
Right.
do it in any
Okay.
particular order. It was just whichever the next game was. That's what we went to.
All right. Okay. Well, it looks as if we haven't really got a choice with this one. So I do
Okay.
apologize for that. Um, with Astra and Hottest and Hornets. So that was a bit, I'm not sure. They should come up in alphabetical order. But either way, I thought that would have come up. So if we go back to this one,
Yeah.
Astra Athletics. So Alf's boys picked up 6 points from six so far, just like yourself. What have you made of his team so far?
Yeah. Alf probably spends more time tinkering, finding out the perfect. Well, we've seen his scouting reports and things anyway, but finding out his players, and he'll have worked on this a lot. So obviously, last season, nothing really to change. He's got a better squad this season. It really is rankling me that he plays Emerson as a DMC though, because
Hmm.
he's probably one of the best MCs in the game. It just rankles me a slight little bit that he plays him in there. But other than that, yeah, no,
Yeah.
Alf, astute, one of the, yeah, he didn't start off great in the league, but then found this formation and he's smashing it.
It's gone very well for
Got
him.
form.
And it's got Brook Inc. playing tonight. I think that's his. I think that's his surprise inclusion. I think Ortega was in that the right side of the attacking midfield, but that's Arnold Brooking tonight. What do you make of that?
Uh, yeah, is Brugink
Uh
is a
huh.
very, yeah, I'd pick him ahead of Ortega every day of the week anyway.
All right. Okay.
I
Well,
really
not
would. He would
not
be
that much of a
he would
shock
be in my,
then.
you know, no, not for me.
Uh huh.
I know he's been saying all week he's got a mystery player and everything, but I'd play him ahead of Del Piero and Ortega. But
Mm.
everyone has their own preferences. Everyone, and obviously Alf's done a lot of
Yeah, he
in
does.
play with his team. So
Does his pre-work, doesn't he? So, if we're looking at Craig's side, so Craig has gone wide. very wide indeed. Despite losing at BTEC last time out, Dunn comes in to replace Scholes. Do you see him getting a result with this tactic against Alf?
I think he's got more chance of getting a tactic than this one than his normal 4-1-3-2
Mm-hmm.
because, like you say, he's gone wide. I've got Alf in a couple of weeks at home, and I'm working on a formation specifically against his. And I just think you've got to go wide with him. You've got to go wide against them. He couldn't go back to what he went to before because last week's result wasn't as bad as people were making out. BTEC had a good start. He going back into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy that he stuck with it. Really happy that he stuck with it because it's different. It is more or less one at the back though, isn't it?
It
That's a
kind of
little bit,
is.
especially when Alf more or less with the ball plays four up top.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, with the ball, the arrows mean that's where they are when you have the ball. So he's playing four centre forwards.
Mm-hmm.
So Lucio's got four centre forwards to mark.
Well, he's going to be in
So
for
it's
going to be
lucky he's a decent centre half.
in for a busy night then. Sigalko on the bench. I mean, he's got Batistuta. Is he a better goal scorer
Yeah,
so early on in the game?
yeah. Everyone goes on about the Sigalko challenge. You can get it plays up front on his own. Obviously, he's one of those ones on the game where they've boosted or whatever. How I don't know what they've done to the players, but he's one of the ones you can get 50 goals out of him in a season on his first season, even though he's only 18. So,
Yeah.
but you got Batistuta as well.
Yeah,
I've never
certainly.
signed him. I've never had him. I always sell him on because I don't like players over the age of 30. So
That's fair enough. We all end up on the scrap heap at some point, don't we? Um, but let's kick this one off. I mean,
yeah,
apologies to Hodgie and to Rob who are meant to be first up. I'm not sure what happened there, but we'll kick this one
I
off
don't think any of them are watching anyway, so they'll be a bit.
they'll be all right. Well, we'll see how the first half gets on here. Looks like
Oh,
there might be something in it
start.
for the Hornets here.
Yeah. Oh,
Could
is
oh,
we go.
we
Yeah,
don't even have time to react to any of this.
I know.
Well,
Flipping.
I don't even want to say anything now.
I think the game speaks for itself. I don't think we need to say anything. Just crack on. Oh my word, what's going on? Has Alf ever conceded 3 goals with this formation before, or what?
I think maybe they've exposed some holes in each other's tactics here,
This
but
is unreal.
sadly
Oh,
they've
here we
left
go.
themselves wide open.
Cheer up. Well,
uh,
I'm glad the Ardsley game didn't go ahead now. Flipping Nora.
what do we make of this one? Let's start by having a look at the chances. Well, the goalkeepers.
Goalkeepers are having an absolute stormer. That's all we can say. In it, let's be honest. They've saved one shot between them
That's
each.
that's not
That's not an Alf. This isn't an Alf result at all, is it? He's going to be pulling
what hair he has left out.
out of his head. Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously I, I think maybe I mean I'm not really going to go into too much detail of the match report, but I'm thinking that Astor Athletic have scored a couple of headers because Hornets have won 27% of the headers, and that might be to do with Lucio trying to mask 4 people at the same time.
Yeah.
So,
thing is with Craig's formation as well. Every single one of his DMCs are pushing on.
Yeah.
So he's got no one sat in there either. So they're all playing. It's
There we have a look at the ratings. Let's have a look here.
If Craig's goalkeeper's scoring more than a 4,
there's something not right.
Yeah. Right. You watch him have a 7 or something.
Yeah. So Brooking's not done particularly well. The young Romanian guy with 3, you can't say fairer than that.
Yeah. No, he's a very good player. Yeah.
Del Piero with 1. Alan Smith, surprised considering how good a start he's had to the season that he wasn't in amongst it. But maybe he's the one that. Maybe he's the one Lucio's looking after.
Yeah, yeah. He scored the most goals to start the season, so he's just stuck himself on him.
Yeah. Let's see what happens here. Oh, Landro's got a 5, so that's slightly better.
There you go. Because he's away, he's expected to concede a couple of goals. That's
That's,
I,
uh,
I'm a little lost for words. 4-4.
yeah, I mean,
Yes,
let's.
this is what you get with this game, though, isn't it? Because they'll it'll be 4-4, and then probably in the second half it'll be 0-0 second half, so it'll end 4-4. It's like
Yeah,
you score 6 or 7 in the first half, and then it still finishes 6 or 7 a lot of
yeah,
the time.
that's true. I was just checking my notes there. So Alf obviously made a bit about Brooking coming on. He's got a 6 at halftime. That's not so great. Craig said that if Batistuta's got a 6 at halftime, can you take him off? And I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
"Nah, I'm
think I'd leave him on
just
this
gonna
one.
leave him. Right, let's kick off the second half and see if we can actually do some commentary, or if we just have to watch the
Okay,
screen
no,
flashing.
yeah,
No, we just have
here
to
we go.
watch the screen flashing.
Alan Smith. If this finishes 8-8, it's the greatest game I've ever seen.
Well, it's value for money when it comes to goals, that's for sure.
Craig said in the comments, 18 goals in 2.5 games involving the Hornets.
Yeah, well, it's one for the neutrals. Let's put it that way. If you want to watch a Super League game and you can only choose one, then Hornets is the team to go for.
That's it, yeah.
To be fair, Alf's got
It
racked
is
up
nearly
quite a
like
few
it's
goals.
an American football score, nearly, isn't it? I think that's what he's going for with his franchise.
It could be. There's plenty of chances that the keeper sort of picked up a little bit in the second half, didn't they? Oh,
Oof, nearly got a
oh,
fourth then.
yeah, and we'll take Donny off. We'll put Ljungberg. It's the last minute anyway. This will make
Yeah,
no difference.
usually with last minute subs, I just leave it because I don't want my player to have a 6 when he comes on.
A bit of average
Even
protection
if it's
there.
a goalkeeper, even if it's a goalkeeper, I just not bother and just leave him.
Don't
It's
want
only
to
last
damage,
minute.
don't
No.
damage the average. Um, okay, so we managed to squeeze in a single goal. Alan Smith got one in the second
Yeah.
half. Um,
Craig doesn't. Asta took over the second half there a
yeah,
little bit because Craig's only had a couple more shots.
looks like they ran out of steam. The
Yeah.
Hornets, and Alf's side just kept the pressure up. 12 shots on goal, and they got the winner there. Um, looking at the individual performances, so Bartes couldn't improve because
Apart
they
from
didn't they
Bartes,
didn't.
you can't really complain. Saying that though, if your team's conceding 4 goals, your defenders shouldn't be getting 8s and 7s. Or I know Zanetti and Placente,
Yeah,
they
but
played DMC, but Nesta's got an 8 there. He's conceded 4 goals. I don't
four
understand that.
goals and a yellow card, and he still gets an
Yeah,
eight. Yeah, I mean it's a bit. Babel quite dominant in the air there, 6 headers, 5 key ones.
yeah.
So that's pretty good. Um, yeah, I mean man of the match probably. I don't know,
Nikolakis is on the winning
because
side,
he's on the
really.
winning side.
Yeah,
If we look at the performance here, so maybe some concerns about like players like Sanyol. If you have the players right down in the bottom corners, are you getting the most out of them?
yeah. But that's why a lot of players now just don't bother with fullbacks, do they? I think they just
Hmm.
prefer just to have that player pushed on a little bit more because if he's going to be playing there anyway, that's the only thing about this formation. They're not really doing anything, are they? Because they're being pushed onto there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I guess.
So
I mean, looking at the possession stats, they've obviously touched the ball plenty and done plenty of tackles and gotten plenty of in. So they must have been near some
yeah,
folk, but they're not naturally in a position where they're near an opposition player.
no,
If you're up against a super
especially
narrowed,
against Alf. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So ah,
Just a little one. I've got my pen in my hand and I'm pointing at the screen as if you can see what I'm pointing at. Yeah, new to this. I'll get my Gary Neville on in a minute.
yeah. I mean, they've not underperformed. They've been perhaps been a little bit unlucky with that chaotic first half. Landry obviously saving what was 5 out of 6 in the second half,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
unfortunately they didn't get any on goal themselves. So, well, it was certainly a good game to start off the evening. No red cards
yeah.
though.
No, it's right. Ardsley at home next. They've guaranteed two there, aren't we?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if we will be or if it's just going to take these in order because it doesn't seem like I can go back. So we're just going to go with whichever one
Okay.
pops up. So apologies for that. But so next up will be yeah, I don't know if you've got your notes ready, but I'll give you a
Yeah,
second
yeah,
anyway.
yeah. Okay.
We've got Midlothian up next, and he's got some arrows.
Yeah,
You can't argue with that.
yeah. Ado, the DDMC playing left wing.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, he did so well last
I
week,
know
so I
he
think
meant he mentioned that, but was he pushed on that far last week?
yeah, it was
I don't remember
only
it.
yeah, it was the two wing backs were pushed on. It was
Were
Ramelov and
they?
Gattuso did not have arrows last week. So
Mm,
what he swapped as well is that he's gone for two on top to make room for Kessman coming back. So he's taken Gran off because he had Kuhl and Gran in attacking midfielders last week and Mempensa on top.
right. Yeah. I got I got rid of Grant. He was one of the ones that I was just looking to release because first couple of seasons. No,
Not
if you're
enough.
looking to win it first couple of seasons, if you're looking to build a squad, build a dynasty or dynasty, however you want to say it,
Hmm.
then yeah, keep those young lads. But if it's only going to be a 2 or 3, 4 season thing, you've got to have. I think you've got to have players that are going to be able to come in and play straight away.
Hmm.
That's not a. I'm not going to call anyone for not doing that, but that's the way I've looked at it this time around.
Hmm.
I've
And
got myself
plus,
a couple of young lads, but
yeah, plus you have a squad. Yeah, you have a squad of 24, so you can get
yeah,
11 that can perform now. You still have plenty of room to get um, the likes of Tobias Gran or whoever you want to get in on those bases as well. So, but
mm.
it'll be
I
interesting.
thought as soon as Kesman was fit, though, I thought he had to come in.
True.
I would say that I think he had to make space for him to come in
Yeah.
because you're looking at Kesman or you're looking at Grant. I'd rather have Kesman playing up there
Yeah, yeah,
than Grant.
absolutely. Absolutely agree. So we'll see how he goes with his arrows here, and he's up against um,
Arrows are our friend.
and he's up against B-Tech. Ian's got plenty of arrows on, so it's the battle of the Ians. That's right. So Ian's got
Mm-hmm.
plenty of arrows as well. This is a little bit more of a um, along the lines of what we've seen from a few
Hodgie.
managers now. Yeah,
It's the Hodgie one, isn't it? It's the Hodgie formation
very similar for
that we've
sure.
just seen. Yeah, with a couple of different arrows.
Hmm. Um,
Their squad is, I think his squad's my favourite squad, apart from his strikers. If he had a couple of I'm not a big fan of Inzaghi. No, if ever I've been Milan, it's always Shevchenko from Shevchenko anyway for me,
hmm.
really, because
True.
he's probably the best. But I've never really been a fan of Inzaghi. I would have, you say Palermo got left out.
Yeah, I think
I don't,
Palermo's not even in the squad. I think it
no,
says,
yeah, I'm
well, he
looking, yeah,
maybe he should
Zara,
have been on the
right,
bench. Oh, we'll
because
see.
Palermo up front on his own is up there
Hmm.
with the likes of Crespo and Shevchenko and
Hmm.
Sigalko for me. He's pretty unplayable up there on his own. I've found anyway in some of
Yeah.
the games that I've played.
Well, we'll see. There might have been a chance that he should have been on the bench, but anyway, it's Pizarro who makes it. So
Not a
we'll
bad player. Not a bad
no,
player to have instead.
that's not a bad player to have instead at all. David Prutton needs a shirt number. So let's kick off and
Okay.
see how this one goes. We'll see. We'll probably
I
won't.
can't see it being 5-4.
No,
I'm going to stick my head on the block and say it's not going to be a 5-4.
well, we've already played a minute and we haven't had a goal yet, so
Yeah, rubbish.
they're already behind schedule. Lots of
Kind
chances,
of.
lots of early chances for BTEC though.
BTEC's another one of those sides that I've said are probably going to be more of a home side.
Hmm.
Is it like, well, it's the setup that Hodgie's got, so it's very much, I feel it's very much a home setup. And like I said before, you can't see which is right. You can't see people's tactics and player
True.
instructions,
Yeah, you
which a
can't.
lot of the lads will probably want you to do anyway, by the sounds of it. But yeah, BTEC just same as the first game, struggling.
Yeah. Uh, that's
And
seems
with
like
that
a
squad,
yeah,
you
seems like
should. I
a
don't.
good choice to get Kessman back in. Apparently, three.
Well, yeah, and like I say, as soon as he's fit, he'd be in my side.
Yeah, very effective as well. 5 shots, 5 goals. All 5 shots were on target. Ames.
Isn't that sort of the way it went against Ardsley as well? Didn't I think BTEC took the lead, then a couple of senders off or whatever, but I think BTEC held their own, but they just weren't finishing.
They just didn't score the goals. I think that was
Uh,
probably about right. But that was with a completely different. That was with the old defenders. That was with Yapstam and whoever the other guy was that they had there, who got a 4 on that evening. At
mm,
halftime, it's looking bleak for Lasisi, for Abiati. Um, not sure if Inzaghi and Agahova have done
that's
pretty much nothing.
yeah. That it's just with that squad, it's just bemusing how the results he's had away from home. It's just crazy.
Yeah, that
I
we're
know, I
not.
know, I know. You're playing against a lot of good squads, so it's not. There is no easy game unless you play fivey. So
Mhm.
it is literally a tough game. 13 out of the 14. So
Yeah, that's
well,
true.
12 out of the 13 because you don't play yourself. Obviously,
Hmm.
I'm rambling now. Just cut me off. I
No, no,
start
no,
rambling,
that's fine.
Martin. Just cut me off. Say, Tim, come
No,
on,
that's
mate.
fine.
Shut up. Go and get yourself another beer. Just be quiet.
I'll just change the screen and then hopefully that'll be that'll be a key. So much better performance from Midlothian in the first half. That's a couple of sevens, bunch of eights, two nines, Klumpe,
Mm,
Kessman. I mean, both you
yeah,
strikers, two shots, two goals.
yeah. Like he's yeah. You just can't. If you ain't got six in there, you can't complain about
No,
anything at all. And when you're 3-0 up at half time, there's nothing really to complain about, is there?
not to complain at all. Well, we'll see if they can continue the pressure in the second half, or if BTEC can find a way in, back in it. Doesn't look like it, but you never know. Danielson has already scored a couple this season, so if they get a free kick in the right position, he
Yeah,
might step up.
he got Danielson off me. I can't remember who he got him for, but I think it was someone I was really after that I swapped him with.
Hmm. And the Nielsen is kind of one of these players that you either get to work or he
Yeah,
kind of just hangs around.
is it you said who you quite like Danielson, don't you?
Yeah, I always get him to do well and to run and to take the dead balls, etc. But I've heard
Mm.
plenty of people criticize him. So
Yeah,
I
I've not
mean,
really got much out of him before, so
much improved BTEC. I think in the second half they had the better of the chances.
it couldn't
But
get any worse.
I mean,
Yeah,
uh,
like I say, he's just not taking his chances away from home for
it
some reason.
doesn't look like it. I mean, Shea Given had a good game last week,
Yeah,
I think. So and he's had
yeah,
another good one this week. So that's
very good. Yeah,
another good result for him. Yeah, they kept it all a bunch of eights.
yeah,
Very cool with the seven.
can't grumble at all. Very, very, very good performance. That
Yeah. Um, if we look at BTEC,
the new
oh
boys are
sorry.
doing all right, aren't
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was a little bit. mm, when I joined the league
they? Yeah,
myself, I didn't have a clue what was going on, yeah.
yeah.
And you play like standard not standard. The tactics you think are brilliant, but it's not the same. Um,
Didn't you
so
come in and play Sigalko as a false number 9?
either him or Nikiforenko, it was one of the
Mm-hmm.
two.
I think it was Sigalko because he didn't have Nico Forenko.
Yeah, either I can't
Mm,
remember, but
okay,
people weren't
yeah.
impressed, and it also
No,
didn't work.
you're a lot better chairman than you are a manager. I'll have to say that, Mike.
I'd be the first to say that. To be honest, I do enjoy the game, but I do like the kind of admin as anyone. I don't want to go off on a tangent, but as anyone has followed my
to
save,
be,
I kind of enjoy the stats and the messing about a lot more
yeah.
than actually the results of the games.
I will say though, if anyone was wondering, oh, I don't really know if I want to come and do co-cons, this setup is absolutely unreal. This is brilliant.
That's
I
good.
was really, really nervous, and I've come on, and this is just blown my mind.
Excellent.
I'll
Well,
do
I'm glad.
co-cons every week if you want. I
Well,
love it.
I'm glad you enjoy it. Well, if you're as the co-commentator, can I have your view on BTEC Troopers' performance in the second half? I mean, as we saw in the stats, they had 11 shots to the four they had, so another
Yeah,
seven, and most of them on target as well, but just not.
yeah. Like I said, they just can't score away
Mm,
from. Well, I know they got two against 9 men, but they just can't seem to score to bury their chances away from home,
mm,
which is a bit. I know they scored 3 at home last week, and then they've had 8 shots and not scored. Kaluzny, everyone raves about him. I don't think he's that good. Well, especially when you're playing 2 games in a week, because he's for some reason, even though he's got quite high stamina, he can't play 2 games in a week, which
mm-hmm.
winds me up. But I'm bemused.
Yeah.
I'm bemused about how badly that squad has played in 2 away games.
It'll be something for Ian to go away and think about, to be honest.
Mm.
And he'll hopefully come back stronger. But I mean, it's also difficult for him because if you're looking at it from a manager's perspective, you set up a side, you you have the most of the possession. You have
Yeah,
or do you? Well, you had. yeah, you had the most of the possession. The ball was in the middle or in the other
More
team's
action,
half.
yeah.
You have more chances. You have more shots on target. You don't score a single goal. That's
I know,
unfortunate.
yeah. And
So
with it's not as if he's not got players that can finish either.
no, you would. I mean,
They are
Inzaghi,
finishers. I
Gahoa,
know I don't like Inzaghi, but he can finish.
yeah.
Agahoa can finish. Danielson, obviously, would I'd say could finish. I don't really play a lot with him.
Hmm.
But like I said at the start, I would have had Palermo up there on his own
Yeah,
rather than Inzaghi. Yeah.
yeah. Well, back to the drawing board, Ian. Sorry about
Oh,
that. Oh.
oh, oh.
And I can hear you getting excited already.
Yeah.
So let's get stuck into this one. Bolton Phoenix.
Okay.
Let's have a look at the tactics here. So he's
Could
changed
you
things
could
up a
you
little
just
bit.
talk for 2 seconds? I know
Yeah, of
this is
course I
very
can.
unprofessional, but I'm going to get a beer.
Well, that's a prerogative of the co-commentator. They can take a drinks break whenever they want, or a refill break whenever they want. So while Tim is cracking open a can, let's have a look at the Bolton Phoenix side here. So it's almost a well-known formation. Kind of similar to what we've kind of similar formation to what we've seen before, but instead of having a central midfielder, then Verong is pushed all the way into the AMC role. So a triple AMC formation, perhaps not the most common, but maybe it could work out for Ryan and the boys.
Yeah, when you sent me through the notes of everything, straight away I thought he's playing those AMCs maybe to stifle my DMCs because that's where I build my side. I I want my three uh, DMCs near enough every game, every new formation I come up with. Invariably, I end up with three DMCs because I find it just keeps you solid. It's
Hmm.
just it's a solid it's a solid foundation. Even though I do go with quite attacking formations, I don't concede that many goals usually.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I feel that he's on the ball a little bit there with playing the three in there. I wasn't expecting it, put it that way. I've been playing a save where I take over the team that I'm about to play and use the team that I'm about to play against at the weekend and put their tactics in that they've been playing recently.
Uh-huh.
So I've been playing Ryan's old tactics that he's been using.
Right.
So, and sorry, I've let a
and
secret
and
out of
you've
the bag there. I
and you've
shouldn't drink so much. Shouldn't drink so much. Letting all my secrets out.
well,
Well, no,
that's a
it's been this formation worked the best out of the three or four that I've got going on at the minute.
right. Okay, against
So
Ryan's old formation.
yeah,
All right. Okay. Good. So, talk us through tonight's formation. You didn't make many lineup changes. I think it was only Ibrahimovic that was injured, so you had to
yeah,
put Casas in.
yeah. But
Um,
Casa Ciffre, bro.
any other thoughts behind the formation? I mean, you're leaving the
It,
AMC space completely blank. It's the complete
yeah,
opposite.
yeah. It's opposite from his. It's a little bit different from what I got. I usually play one up top, but I just I don't know. I don't know even know where I came up with this one. Obviously, I've completely contradicted myself by saying I like to play three DMCs when I've gone with two in this one. But there you go, my life's
Hmm.
contradiction. Um, but yeah, I wanted. Yeah, I couldn't really change it from last week. No one played bad. No one played badly the week before. I don't think I've had a six yet
Hmm.
in the two games. That's jinxing me a little bit. But yeah, you can't. I just
Just
I didn't want to become one dimensional because I played the formation that I played for a few years. I think the lads got used to it a little bit. So
hmm Well, it'll be
yeah,
interesting to see. I mean, a three at the top formation is I think it's always interesting to see. I am not good at it, but I'm not good at the game, so that's also something to do with it. But it'll be interesting to see how that pans out.
mm.
We're at the
All the best, Ryan.
gosh.
You gobshite.
So let's kick off and see if we can get if we can get some goals in this one as well.
Yeah, not for them though.
No, no, no. But there is a co-commentator's issue, but we'll see. It looks fairly even so far. There's, I would say, slight advantage in the grey and orange.
I'm going to be quite quiet on this one.
Well, I won't.
You won't have to shut me up.
That's fine. There's a couple of good chances now for Bolton. 4 minutes of extra time.
Everyone scores in the 45th minute.
Yeah, or gets an
Oh.
injury to one of their key players. It's one or the other. Well,
Yeah, Gallardo straight in,
I was gonna
please, mate.
say I'll probably just put the Gallardo in for that one, and we'll go through to. Oh, are we already in the second half?
I don't think, no, it's not half time yet.
There we go.
There
Oh,
you
it
go.
was so much at the time. Okay, so very even, not
No,
hugely
nothing.
exciting.
Mm.
Um, what do you make of it so far?
Uh, I get really nervous when I watch these games, when it involves your own side. I've done from the very first time. My heart's going 100 mile an hour.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, I'd take a draw at half time, to be fair, because obviously we've had the both amount of shots on target, but he's at home. He should be attacking.
Yeah. And your formation is, um, I
Well,
mean,
it's the same one I played last week against Fifey anyway. So I
yeah.
know that it sort of worked.
Hmm.
And in fact, I keep going back to it. No offense, I don't like to upset him, but Fife is a bit of a free hit. That's why I tried it last week. It won't be used next week against B Tech. So there you go. I'm a
Oh,
little bit worried.
yeah. Well, we'll see. His players have
I'm worried.
performed.
I'm worried because I'm worried. I'm sorry. I'm worried. Just carry on.
Because his players have done marginally. So Bolton's have had a few more shots.
Yeah.
They've done marginally better looking at the stats. Casillas gets an 8. I think Westerveld got an 8 as well. So keepers
Yeah.
are keeping it tight. Defenders are kind of doing all right. Um, ha-
Henri's come in. He's folded a little bit to peer pressure, hasn't he? He was sticking with. He was considering Fowler was the big man at the start of the game, and he's not played since that first game when he was saying, "Oh, he's the best one on it."
yeah, well, I would say,
Yeah, I just Fowler's pants, if you ask me. I was
would you
surprised that he even got put in that set
would
of
you play
players.
Henri over Shearer at this stage?
Um, I can understand why he's brought Henri in now because of
Hmm.
Shearer's bad performance last
Hmm.
week. But yeah, Shearer for the first couple of seasons is
Pretty good.
absolutely unreal.
Yeah.
So, but I
Yeah.
can
Well.
understand why he's brought Henri in
Yeah. Well,
because
he's
Henri's really good as well. So,
he's not happy about it in the comments, but we'll see if he can make up for it in the second half. I should be careful with bringing people up, but we're going. Oh
get
well,
in.
that's one for
Sorry,
you. No,
three and
you.
three. Oh
Oh.
yes, 3-3 for Fausto.
Yeah, that's good. Henri yellow card for diving. Oh, there was a headbutt in it. Did you see
Who's
that?
headbutted who? Yeah, if
There's a
that's
head.
his player, then it's fixed.
There was a headbutt at 66 minutes. I'm sure. How you learn to read these things at this speed? It must
I
be
know it's
practice.
crazy.
See if they can get back in it.
17 years experience.
See if they can get back in it in the last couple of minutes. Doesn't look like it. Figo had a chance. Casillas with a long ball up front. Colmore crosses. No,
Yes.
you hold on.
Oh,
You hold on. 97 minutes. How is that for added time? I
that is
think.
unreal. Who headbutted who? Let's have
I
a
was
look.
gonna
That's the main
say this.
talking
I'm
point. Who
sure
headbutted
someone.
who?
Radoy appeared to. It was one of his as well.
Oh,
Radoy
what a
appeared to
shock!
hit, but Gallardo.
I would like, I would like you to complain about a referee, please,
In my
in the
post-match
week.
actions.
Yes, complain about the referee. I'll take that though.
That is hard. You don't see that often. You don't see that often. You see people get a yellow for throwing a punch, but headbutt and
Yeah,
nothing.
no.
That's a tricky one.
I would
Very
just like
even.
to say, if Vesterveld scores a 9 after Ryan was absolutely slating him in the review show, I will not take the smile off my face for the rest of the night. There you go.
Well, we'll have a look at that in a second. So it was a hard-fought game. I mean, near enough 20 free kicks for each side. That's and a ton of offsides as well. That's quite a lot.
Mm.
um,
Was he? Were we both marking the keeper?
it looks like it. No, I think it comes if you play with I think that many people up front, like both of you, so 3 people up front. You play
Mm.
3 people up front. I think it kind of comes naturally. Um, with regards to the action zones, it was pretty much in the midfield that you had everything going on. And if we look at the Phoenix stats first, I mean, apart from Figo, he can't really be too unhappy, Ryan, can he?
Alf was saying in the technical chat, he said he can't. He can't fit Figo into anything that he like sort of does.
Mm-hmm.
And I must admit, whenever I'm on the game, Figo's the first one out the door. If I'm Real Madrid, I never buy him. I never even look at him
Mm-hmm.
because whenever you have him, he whinges about his wages, and then he'll go on about whinging about his. It's just he's
He ch-
another Anelka for me, and he just
he
at least
changes
Anelka
clubs about
performs.
he changes clubs about 4 or 5 times in the first 4 or 5 seasons anyway. Usually, I will say I don't play with Real Madrid and stuff like that, but I certainly notice him changing clubs all the time.
Yeah,
So I mean, at the end, his team has done all right. They were just not.
to be fair, it's smash. I'll admit it's smash and grab that one for us, but I've said I will take any win, any win.
And that's 9 points now. And it's a
5-4,
and
2-1, 7-0. Any win's a win, isn't it? So, oh, look at that. Vesterveld got man of the match. Oh, ran it.
so yeah, well, there's
No, sorry, that's very unprofessional of me. I've got
if
him
you
off
show
here, and now I'm laughing
if
because
you
I've won.
show
No, I apologise. I'll
if
be
you show
more maintaining.
loyalty. No, if you show loyalty to some of your players, sometimes they'll perform better. Apparently, I wasn't aware that that was a thing, but it looks as if Westerveld has certainly repaid you there. That's a 9, which is always good for a keeper and a man of the match. Uh,
Steve Finnan got an 8.
Also
Take
good.
that because he was slated as well. What did Baumer do? Just a 7. Oh, I'll take that.
Quickly on Rossini, is he one of the
3.
ones that were missing from the original Super
Yeah.
League?
When the Super League first got put up, I wasn't one of the managers. I thought you had to be all technical and that. I didn't realise how it was going to be this way.
Mm,
So I didn't apply or anything to Alan to become a manager. But after it all got done and everything, I made up a squad of 24 players
mm-hmm.
that were missing. And Rossini was the first name I saw
Ah,
was missing. He was the first name in there. There was players like Yakubu and Valharan, who's
mm-hmm.
missing on this one as well. So, yeah, I had a really good squad of 24 players that would held their own in this quite easily, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
But
No.
Rossini, I was trying to get him even though I had Shevchenko, Crespo, Ronaldinho, I didn't have Ronaldinho sometimes, Crespo, but Totti players like that, I was still trying to get Rossini in
Mm-hmm.
because he's a goal a game man,
Yeah. Well,
as he's
certainly.
proving at the minute.
Certainly looks that way so far. I mean, and Penza was on the score sheet again today, I think, and Alan Smith got one as well. So there's a few
Yeah,
people. I mean, we'll perhaps have a quick look at that at the end just to see how the top scorers, top performers are. So, but a good game for Rossini and a good game for you, I think.
I will take it.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised, and that's 9 points on the board, so you can't complain about that.
No, me,
Um,
me and Alf still battling out up there.
right, we're going out west, out to Wales, and we've got the Dragon Destroyers at home against the Brazilians, so hooligans. I think
Yeah,
Thiago was even online in the chat at some point.
yeah,
There
he's
we are.
on. Just a big shout out to Craig for agreeing with me that Finnan's class. That's all I'll say.
I was going to say fair point. I have no idea, but I'll take your word for it. He performed well enough. Um, so Robbie Keane as an attacking midfielder centre.
Yes. What have I written? Yeah, Robbie Keane. Been Leeds a few times. Used to be my favourite team to beat. And the first season, Robbie Keane is superb. More or less anywhere you'll play him in that front area. He's absolutely brilliant for the first season. Then he sort of wanes off after that. But first season, Keane anywhere in that diamond of the three at the top,
Hmm.
you'll get goals, you'll get performances.
Hmm.
You watch me give him the kiss of death now, and he'll get a 6 or something. But yeah,
Ah, we did.
I wasn't as surprised as you guys were when Keane.
Yeah,
I was
we talked
surprised
him
obviously he
down.
scored a hat trick at the time, but not
Yeah,
for his
yeah,
performance.
yeah. I mean, we talked him down after the first half last game, and then he obviously scored a three in the second half. So that was. And if we look at the hooligan side, they are going with their tried and tested.
Yeah,
Not many changes from Thiago. He changes the players, but doesn't change the formation. He has faith
yeah.
that this is one day, one day.
I think the first couple of seasons or whatever, this was working quite well. But everyone sort of had their stock formation. There wasn't a lot of changes, and this sort of worked out well.
Hmm.
I love Thiago to bits. He's absolutely brilliant lad and everything, but either, because Alf's proved that this works, the narrow works. I don't like it very much, but it works. So it's either player instructions or tactics that are just not working here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the three at the back. I've never liked three at the back. There's always one that is crap,
Mm-hmm.
proved by Desai that first week or whatever. And there's always one player that is absolutely rubbish.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know I've just played three up front, but
That's rare.
not many players play three up front. So there's never anyone, if they're all man marking, if they're all zone, whatever, they're not doing anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's
So
always someone not really doing anything.
you could get more out of that player if he was in a
If he
different
was
position.
say like
What
yeah,
you mean?
say if he pushed him to play three DMCs or something,
Yeah.
or if he pushed him up in the middle between Aymar and Beck. I'm pointing at the screen with my pen again.
Mm-hmm.
I apologise
He
because you can't
means
see what I'm
here.
pointing
For
at.
anyone watching, Tim means here.
But yeah,
Yeah,
no,
no, you're right. You're right.
he's got a really, really good squad this year. He's managed to bring Ronaldinho in, which I know is one of his favourite players.
Yeah. So the
But all
question
I
is
think
then,
is
can
instructions. It must be instructions that's holding him back.
yeah.
If he
So
wants to play this formation, maybe he needs. It's working with the AI or whatever because he's in year 5033 or something.
mm-hmm.
But other than that,
Yeah.
I can't see anything but a home win today.
Yeah, and the squad is good, but perhaps not good
The
enough to
squad is
win
superb.
just on quality. But let's see. I mean, Ronaldo's already had a goal or two this season, so let's kick off the first half and see what they can do in Wales. There's a bunch of keen go. Oh well, that didn't last long for. He swapped
Oh, here comes Desai. Look.
swapped Gamara for Desai. So there we go again. Desai is back on. That didn't last long. We'll see if that makes a difference. A couple of good chances either side.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Look, Ronnie.
hmm
Always got a chance when he's in the side.
Yeah, the two Ronaldinho and Ronaldo, obviously, really quite good at the
See, Jamie,
in the game.
Jamie's another one that we found early on. He's quite stuck in his ways.
hmm
He'll pick a formation and then that's it. That's the formation he's playing. He had a good result last week. We all know the formation he's playing. My formation, but one change, and he needs. I think he just needs to have a little bit. This
Shake it up
formation
a bit.
can get found out.
Yeah. To be fair to him, though, I mean, if you win 3-0 at home, I mean, I know that not all of the players performed that
Yeah,
fantastically,
but
but
he lost 4-0 away the week before.
yeah. But he's got another home game coming up, so maybe he's just, perhaps I wouldn't be so inclined to change stuff as well. But if we look at this, I mean, they're sixes all over the shop, but they were 0-0 in the first half last week, so and they came back in the second. Maybe that'll change
Mm.
as well, but it doesn't look
It's
hugely
not. Yeah.
promising. Doesn't look promising. Let's see the hooligan stats.
See, it's not a great game, is it?
Doesn't look
What are
hugely
the match? What
promising
are the
either.
match stats with Kyoto's having a 8?
I don't know.
See, he's only saved 2 shots.
Yeah, but maybe he had a key tackle and that's about it. I have no idea. I have
Right.
no idea what the logic is behind that. But we'll kick off the second half and see
Yeah.
if we get a couple more talking points. I mean, it was a good goal. Ronaldinho is a class player, but we'll see if the Dragons can come back in the second half like they did last week. They would need a goal early on, you would think, if they were to get anything from this.
I've given Jamie the kiss of death by saying I can't see anything but a home win, haven't I?
And talking up Robbie Keane.
Yeah.
Who can play anywhere in the front triangle.
Up there. He can.
Yeah.
Come on, Robbie.
It might show us next week again. We'll see.
There you go.
Not a classic, I think we can say.
No, after the first 2 games, 2 1-0 straight after it.
Yeah. I mean, I think there was maybe a little bit. Well, there was the headbutt in yours. I'm not sure if that counts as more entertainment or more action, but 3 shots on goal for
Depends
each
if
side.
it was like Zan's or not.
True. 3 shots on goal for each side. Not really. 1 yellow card each as well.
Just one of those games that get chucked in, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean Ryan Giggs did well. Tried his best. Got looks like he got some crosses in or did something anyway.
Yeah.
Got away with an 8. Simic as well with an 8.
Yeah.
The rest, maybe not so much.
It's a
Hooligans.
Great result after.
A 9, and
He'll be absolutely buzzing with that clean sheet after conceding 10 in the first 2 games.
True, that was an important one.
That's massive.
I think it says something about the quality of the rest of the game. If a keeper who saves 3 shots gets a
Mm,
9 and man of the match, then the
yeah,
rest of it
especially when
has
Ronaldinho gets a 9, scores the winner, and don't get anything.
then the rest of it has perhaps not been entirely watchable. But
No,
I'm sure I feel a little bit sorry for anyone losing a poor game, obviously. But delighted for Thiago that he got the result. He's not had the
yeah,
easiest of runs recently with the two first crazy games and that 4-4 where he was leading 4 times last week, wasn't
I
he?
know.
So
Yeah, that
that's not
Imperio,
ideal.
the Imperio will taste nice tonight, Thiago. The Imperial
Yeah,
will taste nice.
it certainly will. We'll leave it at that for the for the battle of the valleys. And it looks as if we've got the Toby
Oh,
Carvery derby coming up now.
here we go. It's
Um,
the you call it a Sobe Carvery. Flip heck, I'm not drinking as much next time. Right, you call it that. I call it the irrelevant derby.
the
How about that one?
irrelevant,
Yeah, they'll be loving that.
the
What are
derby,
you doing with this one, Palmer?
the derby of the two teams guaranteed to finish in the bottom eight. Um, I'm not sure what he's doing. If you're asking me, then I'm
I'm
sorry, I
I'm
don't know.
I'm I'm lost for words.
I've never put arrows in that direction on
No,
my wingbacks.
an inverted arrow. He's been watching Top Gun.
It does have a bit of a jet fighter look over to it, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
What? I don't know. I don't know.
maybe it's
Can you see
designed
my
to.
face right now?
No, no, just me.
Oh,
But you're not in
no, that's
public
what I mean.
view.
Can you see my face? Because
Yeah, yeah.
I don't, I don't know.
A little bit speechless.
Yeah,
That's
I've never.
okay.
So really, you say, yeah. So when they've got the ball, he wants his wing backs playing as central attacking midfielders.
To literally run into the three central defensive midfielders if Fifey has
They
three defensive midfielders.
they need some high stamina and high work rate to be cracking on with that one. I think.
Well, I'm glad you're
Real.
impressed. You're suitably
Yeah, I don't
impressed,
think
I can
I don't
see.
think impress the right word. I
Well,
do
we'll
not.
see. We'll see what
But
Fifey.
I've written so much about Palmer on my little notes here. I can't even talk them.
Well, we
I
can
can't
maybe.
even talk notes.
If you look at Fifey's tactic, that also looks as if it's been designed with, I don't know, something in mind. I'm not sure what.
So, yeah. If this finishes nil to anyone, I will be absolutely flabbergasted.
Yeah.
Be flabbergasted. I've said to right. The one thing I want to say to Pfeiffer here is go and buy the game and play it, will you? Because
he's gone quite attacking today.
yeah, just go and buy the game 5 feet and play it.
Right.
Play it for half an hour each day, just on summer. Because I
And
know you have played it for a lot of years and you're playing on memory, but I don't want you to just be making up the numbers. I want you to get in there and give it the best, and you need to be playing the game, kid. That's what I'm going to say.
we'll see. We'll see what happens. If this is 0-0, then yes.
If this is 0-0, oh no,
We'll,
I'm flipping
and it's
away.
and it's the blue and pink.
Jesus Christ. Is that supposed to be pink?
Yeah, it's blue and
It's
pink.
like a really, is it pink?
It
It looks
is.
like a really, really light orange, doesn't it? On my screen, anyway.
Right. Well, we'll kick it off and we'll see if it. Well, we won't be able to see what happens, but hopefully there'll be goals in this one. They've certainly done their best to ensure that there will be. That did not take long.
Look at that! Look at that! One of the wing backs has scored. Holy Christ! He's gonna be unbearable.
He's a
He's
genius.
gonna
Oh, there
be
was an offside there.
absolutely unbearable now.
Not only does one of the rear work, the diagonally running wing backs
Oh
also.
God!
I'm surprised he hasn't got them swapping sides actually.
And he crisscrossing like you do. Wait, you used to do that in training. Just crisscross halfway through your run.
Oh, and there's a goal. So that's our clean sheets out the window.
Oh,
And that's the other
there's your
wing back.
goal. Brilliant. I give up.
What do we know? What do we
I
know?
give. This game is just bonkers, isn't it?
I mean, there's been a few chances. I mean, definitely shots on target for each side. Not very wasteful. Um,
Devil's keeper can't have much of a rating.
no, you wouldn't have thought so. We'll have a look at the
Uh,
Devils. We'll have a look at the Devils first.
oh, 7.
Yeah, still a 7. I'm not entirely sure what that.
Can you just click on the Devils again so I can have a look at their formation
Hmm.
quickly? Uh, yeah. Just wondered why Emery was on a 5.
Yeah, I mean, poor probably.
Inzaghi, yeah.
Yeah, I've got an instruction to take off a player with a 5, so I'll put Tomadera on and hope for the best.
Mm,
Um, so we'll see what happens there. I mean, it it
yeah,
didn't
it's not
didn't go
great.
so well.
Not great.
Maybe it was designed with one at the back in mind, but he's not gone with one at the back. He's gone with something else. Um,
I am. This, like I just said to you, I give up. I can't look at that. It's two wing backs that are playing AMC when they ain't got the ball or are scoring an 8 and a 9.
yeah, I mean, to be
Both
fair,
scored.
and Sally Hamid is just flying with fitness. I mean, the Dutch fella
He might have a
Paul
bit of an
is
injury then if he's down that far.
well. That's just we'll have to wait and see if he picks up that injury. 3-1 in the first half. How do you see this unfolding in the second? There'll be more goals.
I would expect so, and probably Powie and Salihamidzic getting a hat trick each or something.
Oh, it was Sand. It was Sand who got
Oh,
the first of the second half, and something else happened. Dacour.
Dakor, oh, he's
Uh,
flying. To be
yeah.
fair, I've written in my notes. Fifey said to me earlier, he says, "Oh, just appreciate what I've done with my team, try and attack and that." But I've said to myself, I've said it's a bit of a cop out.
Hmm.
He's been saying, "Oh, I can't win if I stick to the same tactics." Then people say this if I change my tactics, but I think he's gone for this formation because he knows if he gets stuffed or he gets beat, he can say, "Well, at least I went for it."
I think I can see where he's coming from if Palmer had got one in the back. I can see where he's coming from, but trying to put on like 20 attackers against one in the back
Mm.
and hoping for like a goal fest that they'll go his way. But that's not how Palmer lined up, and that's really not paid off yet.
I think this is probably the one game Palmer wouldn't line up one at the back. This is the one home and away. This is the game that he wants to win each season.
Mm, true, true.
Just because they've been and had a half a Pepsi Max together does not mean that Palmer does not want to beat him and beat him badly every single time he plays.
And he certainly got it this week. That's the roast comes home. He says, "Yeah, true." So good result for Panathinaikos there. I mean, plenty of goals in it.
I,
Ebisand,
gu- I guarantee you, he does a video this week.
well, he bet after this he should. To be fair, I mean, if you've got two players that are getting tens, that's always going to be a good thing, isn't it? Um,
Yeah, can't fault it. I just like you say though, as soon as you say something negative about a player,
hmm.
they have an absolute stormer. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
Powie, he's got no right to score a 10 there
yeah.
coming from that position, has he?
Man of the match, scores a goal, gets an assist, plenty of headers, tackles, everything. Poor
It's
Eben,
good.
poor strikers. Vasiljev gets two assists and gets a
Just
9. Sand scores 2 goals, gets a 10, still doesn't get man of the match. So
just a little FYI for you. Palmer didn't even know who Powie was at the start of this and was trying to get rid of him to me.
right, okay, well,
I said, no, keep him. He's good. He's all right. DMC, LC, he'll be all right for you. So we kept him.
yeah. If we're looking at Fifey's, I mean, Kluivert scored, Tomadera came on, got an 8 and scored as well.
Yeah.
Um,
So Roberto will always get you an 8, get you an
yeah, he's
assist.
also a good player.
I
I
was
mean,
I was trying to grab him off him start of the season, but he wasn't having it. But yeah, he's got it. He like he said to me, he says, "Oh, you'll appreciate that I've gone for it." But
mhm.
for me, it's a cop out.
I mean,
A little
I'm not
bit.
sure.
I know you've got to sit on the fence. I'm allowed to say what I want. That's
Yeah,
about the rule, isn't
that's
it?
true.
I think it's a cop out.
To
I
me,
like Fifey, what he does for the league and everything, but that's a little bit of a cop out for me. I've got
fair enough.
attacking Tim.
No, that's fair enough.
Don't slate me.
That's fair enough. To me, it looks as if he thought Palmer was going to go like overly brave, and then he's going to try to put all the strikers in, and it
Mm.
hasn't worked. Either way, Palmer runs away with a victory. He'll probably be one at the back next week, and Swindon should wipe the slate clean and put
Yeah,
up
but
a normal formation and win because I think he's got the squad for it.
mm.
Would be what I think, but
Who's Swindon got next week?
We'll probably come to that because I can't
Sorry.
remember. Well, we can have a quick look, perhaps. Oh, well, when we get out of the game, we can have a look at it. So they are, where are they? There. Oh, that was this week. They are at home to Alf. So that's also not an easy one.
There is no easy ones
No,
apart from
if
five.
we if we're moving on, highly anticipated game here. Kieran traveling to Sweden. Two fancied squads. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah. The one word that is said more than any when people are talking about Andy is shrewd. Said near enough every single, like Palmer said it. I think
Hmm.
Ryan said it. I think Fife said it last week. Shrewd. He's very shrewd. He knows what he's on with. I mean, oh, we're talking about Churchtown.
Yeah,
I'm
well
sorry.
we can talk. They are the first ones
No,
up,
it's all
but we
right.
can talk about them.
Churchtown, what have I said? He's dropped Van Nistelrooy, which you asked me about,
Uh
which I
huh.
agree with. I think he's massively overrated on the game. He plays well for Man United, but you get him anywhere else, he's crap.
Hmm.
So I was quite glad he dropped him. And that's a very attacking line. Is that more or less, that is Fife, in it? Is that what Fifey's just played?
I think so. Yes.
Wow.
So well, we'll
Mm.
see. We'll see what comes. We'll see what comes out of that. Um,
But yeah, shrewd.
the shrewd Swede.
The shrewd man, yes, because this is very much what Haller won with in the first season. All gung ho, 5-4, 6-5.
Hmm.
I'll score more than you. But obviously, Valen, I don't think are like that. I think they've got different tactics to that. I don't think they're as gung ho.
Hmm.
Very good. I think he's going to be tricky. I'm glad I got him out of the way early doors.
Yeah, well, I think he puts a lot of thought into it. This is one
Mm,
of many tactics that he's
yeah,
emailed me, and then I get one to choose from for each game, and so he puts thought into this. So he's
yeah,
gone with the same lineup. He's keeping Totti as the penalty taker. So we'll see how that pans out for him. But you're right, it's that's attacking from Kieran, but well
it's yeah.
we'll
This is yeah. Well,
he's
I
going
think I
for it.
put down in my notes. Yeah, I think I put down in my notes that I fancy Churchtown to just nick it, but seeing that formation,
You're not so sure.
not so sure now. No, I did. I wasn't expecting that to. I thought Churchtown just plays normal formation that he's been playing. So
Yeah, well, there's
yeah,
surprises all over the shop. Maybe that's what Andreas was expecting as well. So
mm.
maybe it'll work to Kieran's advantage. But let's kick it off and see what happens. Oh, he's not been. Here we go. Um, yeah, no goals in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah,
That's
and the Churchtown seem to have. Oh, there you go. Look,
oh,
there you
that was a
go.
penalty. Ferguson got that.
It's predicting Lark's not as easy as it seems, is it?
No, it
I
it
don't think
isn't. It's
it isn't
especially
on this, especially this game. Yeah, it's crazy.
with the teams like this, with the
Yeah,
players that are in there, it's really super difficult to predict what's going to happen, especially early on, and you can't see any of the instructions here. You can't see any of
no,
Kieran's or the
yeah,
player instructions or anything. So very even game, I think. Yes,
yeah,
again, we've pretty much only have the only team that's really dominated so far this evening is BTEC Troopers, who didn't score a single goal.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
the only
No.
team that have totally dominated the opposition when it comes to shots and chances.
Yeah, it's been a
Um,
tight. It's been a tight. Has anyone? Yeah,
um,
has that's the only game where there's been more than a goal. Oh no, sorry,
mm,
Palmer just did it, didn't he? Other
yeah,
than that, there's only been a goal in it.
yeah. Um, Ferguson got the penalty. Apart from that, not a bunch of stuff going on. Michael Owen not really doing any better than Van
No,
Nistelrooy, but maybe you wouldn't
Mackay, that's a
expect that.
surprise for me.
What that he does
Uh,
so well in that
yeah, he's
attacking.
playing well. No, that he's playing well at all.
Fair enough. And even in a and he's a forward
Yeah,
right center, I think, on the game
yeah,
in that role.
yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Andreas can't be too happy with this.
No,
That's
I bet he wasn't expecting Cafu getting a 5 as well.
that's
He's
unusual.
usually a guaranteed 7, isn't he?
Yeah,
Toldo his best player, so
yeah. I mean, that's never good when your keeper's keeping you in it, so to speak.
no, no.
Six.
This is a surprise for me actually. After seeing, like I said to start with, I thought Massive would nick it. And then when I saw the formations, I thought Valen had a great chance. I mean, it's still 45 minutes left to play, and you never know, but Churchtown
And
looked
it's
quite
got
comfortable.
Shevchenko.
Mm.
Well, let's see what happens in the second half. Um, he needs an early goal, doesn't he? Same with as Dragons did. Then you need an early goal in the second half to get back into it. I think. I think it's rare to get like 3 right at the end.
I think all he's got to hope for now is just nicking that late goal
and come away with a draw.
Yeah, I think he'd take a draw all day.
Possibly. I mean, it seems to continue in the same way. Not any of these huge, or how did he miss it, or any of these
Yeah,
kind of
no, it's just
chances from distance. Nope.
no. It's
You got
been
an Michael Owen should have scored but missed it right at the end, but that would have been for Churchtown anyway.
yeah.
Um,
It's one of them, isn't it? It's what you have there's 3 that have been high scoring
yeah,
or reasonably high scoring, and then just 3 1-0ers.
yeah. I mean, disappointing for me this
No
one.
draws.
Yeah, disappointing for me this one.
Mm.
I'd hope for more, to be
Churchtown
honest.
bossed it really. Everyone will say, "Oh, he's had 10 shots and all that," but there's only 4 on target. There's only really he's won a lot of tackles, Valen. So obviously he was under the cosh a little bit, having to win all those tackles. So.
And this is Churchtown beating the much fancied Valen using the
Yeah,
exact same
yeah,
formation as Swindon, just conceded
I know.
5.
Yeah,
So there may
well,
be some
it's
player instructions issues,
yeah,
maybe.
like it's another one of those things. Like I said to Fifey, Fifey's kicking off on the chat. Right, I've told him somehow you gave him performance of the week for getting beat at home. Okay, so that's made him think, oh, I'm better than I thought I was. No, you're not. You got beat at home.
No, but they're the
I
rules. You
told
have to
him I wasn't
lose.
going to be as nice as you are, and I'll tell him exactly as I see it, and I'm going to, because Churchtown still plays the game, so he knows this, that, and the other. Whereas Fifey is going on memory, so even if he's giving you player instructions, he's not 100% sure how those player instructions are going to work out. So he needs to go off, buy the game, or even download it for free.
I think
Half
both.
an hour a day just to work out on a couple of things, and then he's not just making up the numbers.
I think
Because
that
I love the lad; he's a great lad, and I
both
want him to do well.
both Boise and Kieran and several others played on their phone, I'm sure, or on a tablet or something. So it
Yeah, well,
should be
Boyce, I know
possible.
Boyce was the first one I saw that had downloaded it onto his phone. I'm not.
Either
I'm
way,
not. I don't want to. I don't want to sound like I'm just battering on about Fifey, but I just want him to go out and buy the game.
and do a little bit better.
Yeah,
We'll see.
I don't want him to make up the numbers. I want him to. I want him to be a force.
And if we're looking at Churchtown's performance, they got the best out of pretty much all of their players, didn't they? I mean, Michael Owen's the
Yeah.
only one. If he'd
Michael
scored that
Owen,
one at the end, he'd probably
missed that
had a
chance.
7 or 8.
Missed that. Missed that chance at the end. Mrs. bringing me a beer now. That's it.
That's luxury.
Missed that chance at the end, and that was it. But yeah, he's struggling. He seems to be struggling with that centre forward, the centre forward, doesn't he? Because Van Nistelrooy has struggled in there. Owen's not done it.
Is it the same as the one with 3 central defenders occasionally? That, I mean, I know it worked out for you and Rossini scored, but can it be the same as if you're playing with the 3 central defenders, that you play with 3 strikers and one of them doesn't really seem to do anything?
Not well. I don't know how the people are playing with their 3 centre forwards, but I have different instructions for each of them, so I'm hoping that they're going to be doing and
different things,
giving me different things. I am surprised that, because Rossini usually prefers to play the central of the 3, and I put him on the right. Comandini usually play. He's been playing essentially, and it seems to have just all been switched around in this game and on my save. So it's just different saves, isn't it? Like Al says, you can't guarantee a player's potential. You can't guarantee this, that, and the other. It's just what it is.
Because some of the stats are randomly allocated when the game loads up. And you'll just have to wait and see how it goes. So we've had quite a few talking points already, and a couple of games that perhaps didn't really deliver much in the way of goals anyway. The last one, the ones we started with,
Yes.
Arsenal Celtic. So what can we say about Hodgie? Everyone will have forgotten what you had to say about Hodgie about an hour ago. So if you can repeat, please.
I said he was more likely to be a home side where he's going to win his games at home, like B-Tech with the formation that he's playing. That's what I feel anyway. I think he's a little bit too open, like B-Tech for an away. I don't know. Like I've said it all night. You don't know team instructions. You don't
Hmm.
know player instructions. But yeah, I
And
was
he's a
I was very I was very very shocked that he got rid of Rio Ferdinand and kept Larson.
Yeah, well,
Very shocked.
well, everyone has their own kind of favorite players.
Mm,
I don't think that was a good bit of business, but maybe there was other things going on there as well. I don't know. But he's at home tonight against Sloths, who hasn't they haven't
yeah,
gone off to the best start. And here we are with the Dalek formation. There's love. Ryan's given love to Sloths, so
yeah.
that's good.
So's
Um,
Rob's on the line as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Absolute batshit crazy that fella.
So
He
how
is
do
he's the best thing to have happened to this league, I think, because his videos are absolutely hilarious.
well, they are good.
Absolutely hilarious.
What about his tactics? Are they
Uh,
equally
yeah.
hilarious?
Well, I've never understood that it's like, oh, I'm gonna talk my way into a corner here, but like I did with Palmer. I don't. Why have them lads running out there? I don't understand it. I'd never do it. I don't think many. I mean, I know there's a formation on where they go 4-1-2-1-2
Uh-huh.
on the actual ones you can pick, and it's got the two central midfielders going
Oh,
out
yeah,
to
yeah,
the
yeah.
wing.
Yeah, for some reason.
Why?
It, I don't know, to
And why
cover.
would you? You've got your central that Del Sancho's just an AMC, and he's just going to go out to the right wing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
Maybe
well,
he's
maybe.
just thought. Everyone's been saying to him, "Oh, you don't play with Arrow." Well, everyone said to him, "Start with, oh, you're not playing with DMC," so he put a few DMCs in.
Now he's not playing.
Now
Now he
everyone's
wasn't
saying
playing
he's
with
not playing
arrows.
arrows, and arrows are our friend, as we said earlier,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
now he's
yeah.
playing with arrows. So
Yeah, well, we'll see. He went from losing badly in the first game to only losing 1-0 to Alf, so maybe he can go one better and get a point today. Well,
hmm,
we don't know, but
I
we'll
don't know. I've give up guessing.
Oh, that's good. We'll get Jamie back on soon. Don't worry, Tim.
Yeah, you crack on. I've uh, I've broken the commentator's curse by
You've
giving
done
Ryan
you've done
good
your
hiding
job.
at home.
That's true.
Absolute good hiding that was, Ryan, as well.
That is true. Um,
All my rubbish players scoring,
there's
playing
a
well.
penalty just before half time.
Tristan, he said earlier he hopes Tristan plays well tonight because he didn't
Yeah,
have a very good one last week.
no, that's true. So again, perhaps not the most absolutely not the
Oof.
most exciting first
No.
half. It went very quickly. Um, I don't know. Sevens and eights.
It's
He'll be happy with
yeah,
that.
well, yeah. If you don't get a six, I think you've got to be happy.
Hmm.
And that's the way I look at it. If I usually sub the player with a six if they has got one, but yeah, you can't grumble, can you?
No.
Sevens and
Assist
eights.
for Laos, and how do you get? Oh, he was the one who was fouled. I was thinking, how do you get an assist for a penalty? But he must have
Uh,
been the one that was fouled then. Sloths. There we have a look. Crespo not living up to
Crespo, what's going on?
expectations.
Sell him to me. Sell him to me. Um, yeah, I just what's no doubt the two in the middle are playing. No, 6 and 6 running out to the wings.
Yeah,
It's yeah. I've not like I said earlier. I'm not a fan of the um,
of the arrows going out
narrow.
to the
Well,
side,
I'm not a
and
fan of the narrow formation. The arrows
also, yeah,
pointing this way and that way. It's
yeah. Well,
but it's people's preference and everything. And
that's true.
well,
Well, we'll see if he can pick up in the second half. I don't want to dwell too much on a game with one shot on target in the first half. I think that was a penalty.
yeah,
So, but we'll see if
I'll let you know.
Slots can get back in it. They seem to have a couple of chances early on. Buffon perhaps still keeping Sloths in
Mm,
it. We'll see.
yeah, he's the one you wanted of the goalkeepers, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's got to be the. I mean, Khan is good, but I think only for the first 1 or 2 seasons he's very good. Oh, that's Tristan
Yeah,
again.
Tristan two came over.
Oh,
Has Rob,
and
has Rob scored a goal yet?
no,
No.
Lausen injured uh,
Mm.
after being off with a red card as well. That's not ideal. See if he. Oh, here's his
Ooh,
chance. Oh, the
there
first
you
goal of the
go.
season for Sloths. Can he
If he
get back
gets
in
a
it?
get a point, can he get a point?
No,
Oh
he
no.
cannot.
Podge will be happy.
Yeah, he'll take that, won't he? After
Yeah,
last week.
he'd be more happy, I think, with Tristan scoring the two goals as well
Yeah,
because he's
how important will you say that is, not just in your home saves? I mean, I know it's kind of stating the obvious, but to have one striker that you can rely on, I
Yeah,
mean,
massively important. I always find that I like to buy one striker that will more or less play every game
hmm
that I want them to play in. Obviously, you get the ones where you're already through, or you've got the rubbish cup competitions where you get players a
hmm
game. But I always like to have one player that is my go-to man,
uh-huh,
and I think you need that. I think you need one go-to man. You think, right, he's my man. I'm going to stick with him. He's going to play in every game that of importance.
hmm
In my, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say from my personal perspective, it was the same. I'd take one guy that gets 20 to 25 over two
Mm,
guys that gets 10 to 15, even though they might combine get more over the season. I like to have that kind of security that I get not a, maybe if not a goal a game, then at least a goal every other game, or
mm,
two and three from that guy.
yeah,
So if he can get Tristan running like that, then he should be
yeah. I think
happy.
he didn't. He get, I think he got a couple in the first game. Didn't go great
Mm,
last week, but like I said, though, he's one of my. I think I think he's going to score most of his points at home. I can't see him doing great away from home. So
yeah. So that kind of concludes tonight's action. If we have a look at a quick run through the results here, so we started off with a bit of a corker,
mm,
a 9 goal party there.
nine-goal
That's
thriller with
that's
Alf.
yeah, that's Craig scoring again. I mean, that's what 6 goals he's got in 2 games now, and he's lost both of them by one. That's unfortunate. He might have to have a look at his
Mm.
defensive setup, but I think he's on to something with that tactic. But
Yeah,
5 goals is a
he's
bit.
on to being entertaining,
Yeah, it's Kevin
isn't
Keegan all over again.
he? Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. Perhaps not the best. So that's Alf joining you at the top of the table. Well,
he's got a goal
he's
difference,
got the
sorry,
goals, hasn't he? So he'll be
from
he'll be
those.
above you
Well, it's that first game
against Thiago,
um,
the 6-1. Yeah,
Thiago. Yeah, the six.
quite convincing win for Midlothian, despite being
Yeah,
probably
so very
outplayed to
very
some
good.
extent. Um,
Yeah, it's BTEC had all the shots, didn't they? Just couldn't score a goal.
yeah. Then we had a bunch of 1-0s in the middle. Hooligans got one. Churchtown got one, and you got a 1-0 victory against Ryan. He's
That's I think that's two aways out of two,
Yeah,
by the
yeah, yeah.
way.
That's 2 aways in a
Just to
row.
let you know.
Yeah, yeah. I think.
I've got another one next week as well.
Oh, that's that's that. Well, you'll be able to double break that the
Like,
it's not a curse, but what did Palmer
well,
said?
no,
Three. Palmer said that three in a
you can't
row.
win three in
You
a
don't
row.
win three in a
Me and
row.
Alf have done it.
So we'll
But
see.
I've got BTEC next week, who's one of the sides that I think will play. That one of the sides that I said will be the home, win all their points at home. So
Yeah.
I've been building towards this one because then I've got Alf the week after. So these are the two ones that I've been building towards really.
If we have a look at the table, it starts to make a little bit more sense to have a look at the table now after the first game or two. It's maybe not so much. Yourself and Alf, we've touched upon
Mm.
already. Palmer in third. Is that going to
Mm.
last? Unbeaten in three.
Unbeaten Palmer. Well, it does this, doesn't he? He'll finish seventh.
On the last game of the
Bless him.
season.
Yeah.
um, Ian sneaking in, new manager with 6 points, 2 wins there.
Yeah,
He's in
no,
the.
yeah, two decent wins. But I think they were both. He's had two home games on the spin, hasn't he? So
Yeah, I think he lost
we'll
the first. He
see what
lost the
he's.
first time out, and then
Yeah,
won two now
see
in a
what it's
row.
about when he's away from home. That's what it's all. I think that's a massive thing in this league. I mean, like a lot of people are saying, it's going to be homes, homes, homes,
hmm
and then if you can, what you can pick up away is going to really help you out, isn't it? Well, that's what I think.
True.
Concentrate on your away form because your home form should
Well,
be enough.
hope hopefully. Well, you're certainly taking an early lead with the away form here. You've also had
Mm,
2 games, but we'll see. So Alf could potentially catch you up there. But and down at the bottom, Sloths
mm.
and Swindon, not off to the best of starts. Tactics or squads or a combination without touching
Some,
too much on
I
five
don't
v
think
again.
I don't think Sloss can complain about their squad. Not
hmm
one little bit. I think you said at the start if you wouldn't have minded being back as Sloss manager with the squad that they've got.
Yeah, there were people managing other teams that were happy to give up their side to take over the Sloth
Just
side when
take
they
over
saw the
Sloss,
score.
yeah. And with Fifey, I've said, look, I don't want him to be making up the numbers. I want him to give it a good crack and everything. And I know he's changing a lot, formation a lot and everything, but um, his squad isn't the best squad, but it's not the worst squad either.
No,
So
it's
I
better
don't I
than
don't I don't think 3 defeats and conceding 12 in 3 games is what he's after. If I'm
no,
honest,
no, probably not. Probably not. Well, we'll
uh,
see what comes out of it. Other than that, honorable mentions. I mean, perhaps a little bit surprised that Andreas, considering the
yeah, I
shrewdness
was.
of his
Yeah,
operation, but he's also had what did he have now? He had Kieran away, he had you away. He's not had the easiest of
no,
games either.
tough
So
tough start. Yeah, get get a couple of tough ones out of the way. He won his
yeah,
home game, which, like I said,
it's very
that's what the
important. Yeah,
season's going to be on.
and
But
23 games.
that's the one real shot. After seeing the formations, I had Kieran down to win, but after
Hmm.
seeing the formations, like I said, I thought Valen would win that one
Hmm.
because but I think that's just my reaction after seeing how Fife is fared up.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas if I saw Kieran's before, I don't know, I don't know how it would have.
How he would have
I'd have,
reacted.
yeah,
True. If we have a quick look at the player ratings here, so Alan Smith and Gabriel Batistuta are absolutely storming away with
mm,
9.33s, both of them. Ebisand up there as well, Lee Boyer and and Patrick and Roman. Yeah,
yeah.
there's a few odd names in here.
Palmer's got 5 up there.
Yeah,
Hassel Ahmedic as well for 4. So
yeah, it's all
playing,
and Sloths have got. I mean,
it's
perhaps
Buffon.
he's got
Yeah,
Buffon to thank for a lot there. So rating wise, is going well. Batistuta is. I mean that when you play attacking football, then you get a lot of chances, and you get one guy with
that's
six
it. Yeah,
goals in 3 games. So that's you got to be he's got to be happy with that. I mean, you can
yeah,
understand Sigalko not playing if Batistuta scored 6 in 3.
yeah. But that's that. Fair enough. But Sigalka got 2 in the first game as well. I think, as well
Yeah,
as
that's true.
Batistuta, and he just had to make a choice. And
Hmm.
I think, if Sigalko was in there as well, I think he'd have scored the
He's,
same amount of goals. So he's got 2 really good strikers up there. So
yeah,
it's sport for choice if he's playing one up.
true. Assists. Vasiliuk again. Palmer has.
MVP.
Uh
Mm.
huh. Has Salihamidzic. Palmer's got 2 guys in the top 5 here.
He's scoring some goals though, hasn't he? He's gone 5 and 4 in the last 2 games, and he
Yeah,
scored 3 in the first game, didn't he?
certainly did. Man of the
Yeah,
matches. That's pretty much evenly spread out so far. Pass completion. I'd never look at this to be honest. I just thought I'd bring it
no,
up.
it's not.
Tackles per game I like. Roy Keane
That's
is
massive. 8 tackles per game is like
absolutely
unheard
dominating.
of. I have like 4 or 5 on a player, I think, but 8.
Yeah, I don't know where you've
Does
been.
that say he's having to do a lot?
Maybe a lot. I mean, you got Steve Finnan and 4.5.
Yeah,
That's your
rubbish old
best.
Steve Finnan.
Yeah, that is a lot. And if we have a look at the dribbles as well, McManaman, Zidane, Impensa, I never really found this to be that
That just tells you a lot
significant.
about who you've got having running with the ball. I think
True, 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 true. Shots on target, Rossini, that's one of
up there.
yours. You got to be
That's my man.
got to be
Yeah,
satisfied. Tristan, we saw scoring again, Impensa again.
yeah.
Robbie Keane, that must be from last week. Batistuta, maybe surprising that he's down on 71%. That means that he
He's
has
just getting the shots away,
he's
isn't he? He's just
firing away.
shoot, yeah, shoot on sight.
And the average rating we've kind of already covered.
Hmm.
If we have a quick look then before we go at next week's fixtures, we can start with yourself. You're away to BTEC. You
Mm.
touched on that already. BTEC, you say, are a home side. Does that mean they have a chance of stopping
Yeah,
your away?
I think. Well, Palmer will tell you that you can't win 3 on the bounce. So he'll do the review show in the week. You won't win 4 on the bounce. So me and Alf will try to be proved. I think Alf's got a better chance than me of proving him wrong. But
Yeah,
yeah,
both.
I think Ian will do a couple of bits and bobs this week. He's got his team set up on his computer at home as well. So
Hmm.
the next 2 games are the 2 that I marked out as tough,
Yeah.
really tough. So
I've just noticed Ryan's question in the chat thing there. I think Kieran is the one who's got Oliver Kahn in goal, and then Maldini and
mm,
Thuram or something like that in front of
yes,
it. That's why he's only conceded
experience.
1 goal in 3, in case you were
Mm.
wondering. Hoddesdon Hornets. If Bolton go back to their more attacking formation and Hoddesdon continue, this could be another many goal
Blooming heck,
games.
yeah. That could be.
4-4.
Well, I don't know how much of a grudge Craig holds, but that could be a little bit of a because Ryan was very
What
chatty about what
snitching?
happened in that. Very chatty about what happened in that first week, wasn't he? So
We'll see. We'll see what comes out of that one. I'm sure it'll all
uh,
be good fun. Hooligans against Ardsley. Ardsley not particularly good away from home. Hooligans
no,
with a good win here. If they
yeah,
continue
very
their
good win.
form,
Yeah, I think I don't know. I don't. Will Hodgie stuck with the same formation all the way through, hasn't he? So I don't know if he'll try something different.
yeah, it'll. Well, they're stuck in both of them are stuck in the middle. I think with what 3 or 4 points both
Yeah,
of them. So,
I know, but like you said, it's the league don't really count until after Christmas, does
hmm
it? And they've
true.
all played each other once. I think that's when you need to start looking at it.
Yeah, and Ian with his third home game in a row. Then, if you're away three in a row, Ian looks like
I
he's got
know,
his
yeah,
third. And against Jamie, he's got to fancy himself to get to pick up the that elusive
yeah,
third win as well, hasn't he?
yeah. I think so. He's got it sussed. I
Hmm
think he's got a good formation. Still not 100% convinced. I think did he get rid of Dede and now he's playing Addo at left wing back.
Yeah,
That's
something like that.
yeah. But I can't fault him. He's won his last two games with
Uh-huh.
Addo at left wing back. So yeah, Jamie, he'll same formation probably. He'll probably email you same team.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what comes through from Jamie after the slightly disappointing game today.
Mm.
Sloths, they finally managed to get a goal here at the very
Got
last
a
minute,
goal.
Balak's
Yeah.
penalty. Um, Kieran's only conceded one in the first three, so it doesn't look as if Sloths are going to add to that in that game.
Um, I th- I don't think Kieran will go with that formation again
Not,
away from home. If
no,
I'm
probably
honest,
not.
if he does, fair play to him.
Yeah, well, we'll see. And then we've got 5 feet at home to Alf. So back to the drawing board for 5 feet. I mean, he's going to change tactic anyway. This one was a Palmer design tactic, I
Well,
think.
look, I've not really been looking at comments too much, but he's had a right good bitch. So uh, I can it, I'd like him. I would like him to stick to that formation against Alf. That formation will give him more problems than
I
four
was
three
going to
one
say, I was going to
three
say
two.
that
Anyway,
it'll probably work a lot
I think.
better against Alpha than with the width and all that than it did
Mm.
against Palmer. That probably makes sense. That's probably a fair point. And
But that if he does change it, that'll be his fourth different formation.
true, true.
So
Yeah, that's maybe also saying something about how much people put into the game. I know
yeah,
for various reasons, 5 feet doesn't have the game. That's fine. We can't all have the game. Well, we can, but because it's free. But either way, either way, you've got a pretty set formation. I think you made a change or two. Alf's got a pretty much set formation. I mean,
no,
the guys at the guys at the top have kind of a set.
well, the formation that I would usually play, I played in the first game,
Hmm
and Valen near enough matched me up player for player. I don't know
hmm
if you'd seen before or
Yeah.
whatever. So that kind of stifled it all out. So that's why I tried to change it for the next two games
hmm
because I didn't want that to happen. I didn't want everyone to think, right, that's his formation. What can we do against that?
Yeah. True.
So that's so. well,
We'll see. It'll be.
I don't
Are we
know the
gonna? Are
next
we?
time now.
Are we gonna? Is it gonna be bluff or double bluff
I
or
don't
triple
know because
bluff? What are we gonna?
I've already said on Twitter. I said I've got a formation that I've specifically worked on against the narrow,
Uh huh.
which is Alf.
Uh huh.
So I don't really want to chuck it out next week
Yeah. Well, we'll
against
see.
BTEC. So I
Well,
don't know
I'll doubt if
what you
Ian will
do.
go. I doubt if Ian will go narrow anyway, but we'll
No,
see. Last up, we've got Parma on a trip to Sweden.
yeah, I think that's game of the week for me.
Yeah, could be.
Game of the week. Palmer scoring plenty of goals, conceding a few. Fallon, he won't be happy about today
No,
at all. I don't think,
not at all.
especially after seeing the way Massive lined up. I think he'd have been rubbing his hands together and then
Mm.
didn't really turn up.
Didn't really work out for him
No.
as well. I mean, there's something to be said for trying to predict your opponent's tactics, and there's also something to say for
Mm.
digging yourself in a big fat hole by doing that. So, um, sometimes you got to gamble, like you say. You can probably against Alf. Alf's not going to change. He's going to stick to
No,
it.
I can't imagine
You know,
him. No,
there's no point in bluffing or double bluffing there. He's going to stick to it. But you know, if you like, Palmer's quite good at it. To be fair to him, if we have to give him some credit, to keep in kind of, he plays, you know, sort of left field tactics and comes up with different stuff. And
I can't believe he did.
those
Yeah,
arrows, that's a
yeah,
nightmare.
brilliant
So
works. I can't, and I can't imagine him practicing that at home either.
God, no, no, I don't think
No,
so.
I don't think he will. I think he's just gone, right, this is what's happening, this is what's going on, and we're going to crack on.
Because
So
he
I
only
can't
play.
imagine he's tried that.
No, he doesn't. He only plays Euro tactic
Well, yeah.
in his save. So anyway, I think that concludes tonight's action. We managed to hit the time mark as we normally do, an hour and a half.
Mm.
I hope you enjoyed it, Tim. It was a pleasure to have you
You'll
on.
enjoy it, yeah. And if I've upset anyone, get over it.
I don't think more than usual, to be honest. I don't even think there's been added fuel to the fire, to be honest. People know what to expect when people are on co-coms. We have to make it interesting, and we also have to say our opinions. I try to keep it a little bit low key, but you know, the co-commentators are there to color commentators. Is that what they're called? That's what they're there for, to
Is it?
add a bit of spice to it. So
I
it was a
just,
pleasure to have you on.
Ryan's asked a question on the feed
Uh-huh.
whether I thought I deserved the win. I scored one goal, he didn't, so obviously I deserve the win.
Clearly so. Clearly
That's the name
so.
of the game, in it. Score more than the other person.
Yeah.
So
Ryan, you're welcome on a Tuesday to the review show if you wanna if you wanna have words. Everyone, as we've mentioned before, just before we go, as I mentioned before, it was a pleasure to have Tim on. It's a pleasure to have all of
it's
you.
brilliant.
It's a
Really enjoyed it.
pleasure to have all of you guys on. So whenever you're interested, give me a shout. There's plenty of available spaces coming up and in the future. Just give me a shout, and we'll have a bit of a laugh on a Sunday or a Tuesday evening. So with that, thanks very much, Tim, for your input.
Yeah, thank you very much, Martin. Absolutely brilliant.
Thanks for
Love it.
everyone who watched. I hope you enjoyed it, and good night to everyone.
No, mate.